Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our second game of 4 on the day for Starladder China, day number 3. You're watching Season 10 of Starladder. The prize pool is the biggest ever, and actually, that does make me curious. Just how big has this prize pool grown? Well, I'm going to look that up, but in the meantime, we've got lgd Gaming versus Vici Gaming. BA1, of course, as all Starladder matches are, and we're going to see a face that's really risen to popularity lately, this Tuskar pick from lgd Gaming. So I'll talk about that in just 1 second. But how big is our prize pool now anyway? Starladder Season 10 is now $232,000. That is bigger than the previous Starladder season, and it's only 20 days into the group stage, or since the ticket was released, I guess. Whereas the other Starladder, even after the land finals were over, just hit 230,000. So looking like it will continue to grow. Generally, during the land finals, the prize pool takes a pretty big jump. So we might even get to like that 250,000 plus mark, which is where the next stretch goal will be. I think that's where the final goal is unlocked, the new hero set that they've released. So yeah, anyway, exciting stuff. Lots of money at stake here. Only 2 teams from China will secure a spot at the land finals. So curious to see who makes it there. But yeah, draft underway. First pick, Scarth Mage. Our band's pretty standard. Razor, the main hero that was ignored, I would say, out of as far as top picks and bans lately go in the first phase. And lgd Gaming don't grab him. They go for the Tuskar Viper instead. So they get a lot of control. They get a good hero to protect a teammate through Mystic Flare in this Tuskar, as well as just a powerful early roaming, generally a support. Doesn't have to be, but generally. Very, very strong and underrated hero. I actually saw a team the other day that did a level 1 Roshan with Frozen Sigil. So if you haven't seen it before, it does go through Magic Immunity. It's probably Tuskar's best spell. And I would expect to see more Tuskar moving forward as we finally get our overlays up. Man, I'm just the worst with overlays. Starladder's probably going to fire me, guys. This might be my last cast. Enjoy it while you can. I think I can hear the cane coming for me to pull me off stage. Okay, ban's done now. So we see a lot of teamfight controllers banned out. 1 for each team. The Void removed by lgd Gaming. They don't want to deal with this Void Razor combination. And over on the side of Vici, they'll ban out the Centaur. So worried about the Snowball and the Double Edge, just having the double strength initiators and the tanky frontliners. lgd will grab one of the best remaining teamfight heroes in the pool. They'll snap up a Tide, but it is a hero that generally struggles to lane against a Razor. And I'm curious if Vici Gaming are able to exploit that. And now a Sand Cane for Vici. So wondering how they're going to look to run this, but generally it's that playmaking hero that FY will play. So as far as, we'll probably be seeing Fenrir onto the Scarth Mage. That's going to be an FY Sand Cane. And then the question is, how are the roles going to be distributed outside of that? You've got Razor that can go into the hands of Super. Ice, and Black, probably the 2 heroes that still haven't been picked up for Vici Gaming, but one thing we've seen from this team is a lot of flexibility as of late. They showed quite a bit of it when they played earlier today in the ESL, I guess you'd call it their China finals, the final match of the ESL qualifiers. So yeah, excited to see if Vici Gaming can once again impress us. For those who didn't hear, they had excellent results today. I won't spoil it, but they played, well, I guess I did spoil it. Whoops, sorry about that. But yeah, they played exceptionally well. So looking forward to seeing if they deliver again. And right now, they seem to be the strongest team in China. Something few would have expected, given the language barrier that Black has to deal with as a player, speaking fairly minimal Chinese, and as well as the fact that they just haven't played together that long. The old Vici Gaming played together for a pretty long time, upwards of a year. FY, Super, Fenrir, ROTK, and who's their final player? Jeez. Man, the whole reshuffle, I just can't even keep the old roster straight anymore. There's just been so many changes. But yeah, the old roster for Vici Gaming had a lot of synergy and a lot of comfort playing together. And oh, Sylar, Jesus Christ, how did I forget that? Yeah. Anyway, Timbersaw, picked up by Vici Gaming. So, Timbersaw, interesting. So I think what they're looking for here is to get the Timbersaw laning against the Tide. Maybe they even run a Timber mid. It's generally Ice who plays this here out of the players on Vici Gaming. Don't recall ever seeing Black run it. I think Super's played it fairly minimally. And so if he's on that, then probably we'll see the Razor in the hands of Super and Black's hero still to be picked up. Though there is some role flexibility on this team. I think that's the most natural assignment. The main thing this Timber gives them, I would say, is just some early game deep push more than anything. They have Plasma Field, that's pretty much it. You can't count on Burrow Strike, that's too risky to D-push with. Sandstorm, also too risky. This gives them good creep clear against a lineup that's building tanky, that has Eidolons to push early, that has a natural mech builder in the Viper, a good initiator in the Tide and the Tuskar, so... But the main issue we see with Timbersaw is that he just doesn't have hard crowd control, and he is countered pretty hard by BKBs. Those are the two main things that we've seen teams use to punish him, so... picking heroes like Storm Spirit, although he's not very common right now, used to be more common against heroes like Timbersaw, Ember Spirit, just very mobile, agile heroes that Timber can't deal with in the mid-game as far as killing them off. Can do a lot of damage, of course, but that's where they need lockdown of Vici Gaming, and they actually remove a Weaver from the pool. So banning out a core here for LGD, who probably will be running this 5-position Tusk. It looks to be a 5-position Tuskar, an offlane Tide, a jungle Enigma, and that would leave them looking for either a hard carry or a solo mid. I'm thinking someone... Probably going to be a Razor mid, so it really limits their options for the lane. They could put the Viper there and run someone else in the safe lane is the main thing that we could see out of LGD, and probably what we will see, because very few heroes outside of Viper really lane well against the Razor, to be totally honest.
Tinker.
And it's Tinker. Oh, okay. Huh. Who plays Tinker for LGD? Because I want it to be MMY. I don't think it is. Let's see. I gotta look this up. I guess it's gonna be Sylar? Either that or Yao. Faith and MMY are normally the supports for this team. Is there any chance of the return of the MMY core? Any chance we see that? Let's see. Heroes. No games played on Tinker in their last 25 games. Or, no, sorry, not 25 games. I'm reading this wrong. Tinker. They have one Tinker game on record. And I am not sure when it happened, to be honest. I don't think there's an easy way for me to look that up. So LGD has only ever run Tinker once. And that's not just this roster. That is all LGD rosters ever. Okay, so I'm not crazy. They just never do this. Alright, I feel better now. Who's going to be playing it? Sylar Viper. That would probably be a Yao Tinker. Unless there's a chance that MMY's on the core roll. Come on. Momoya, please. Maybe? They're toying with me here. No, it's the Yao Tinker. Not that Yao can't play a good one, but I would love to see MMY back in a carry role one day. Not that he doesn't make huge things happen as a support, but more just for the novelty of it than anything else. But we're not going to see that. We'll see a Pugna picked up by Vici Gaming. And Super, just an absolutely fantastic Pugna player. The other player that was always really impressive on Pugna is YYF. Although he would generally play it more on the side lane. So, well, not a bad Tinker game, to be honest. There's only really Sandkane's done. Not a great lineup to catch him in the tree line. The main question is, will he be able to stay alive in this early to mid game as the draft does end? So we'll get into the game, guys. Starladder China day number 3 continues here. It's day 3 of 7. We'll have a round robin group stage, 7 total days of play, total of 28 games for each day, and then we move into the playoffs. Oh no, sorry, does Starladder China? Yeah, I think they do have playoffs. Yeah, top 2 actually go to the LAN finals. So that being said, we'll introduce your teams now. I'm getting their format mixed up with the format for our event that we're working on, but yeah, anyway, that's another story for another day. All right, introduce the teams. LGD on the Dire side. We've got Injuly handling the Tidehunter. Playing the Tinker will be Yao with the no talisman and the double and the pooled tangos. Faith will be handling the jungle Enigma. MMY on the Tusk, and last but not least, Sylar going safe lane is the Viper. And on the side of Vici Gaming, the first team to make it to a Western LAN event in the post-TI4 era from China. You've got Ice 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 on the Timbersaw. Super will be handling your Pugna. FY, the Skywrath Mage, that puts black onto the Razor, and it's actually Fenrir playing the Sandkane. So they'll give FY the 5-position hero this time around, and Fenrir will be getting a little bit more farm priority, though I have seen them do it the other way in the past. FY and the rest of his squad moving into position their jungle. They want to defend this early on, and the main reason is this guy right here. Fenrir needs his jungle stacks, needs his early farm. And they know that they should be able to get away with this because you're looking at Enigma on the side of LGD, so... Although he'll pressure that safe lane, it's not going to be right off the bat. As wards get dropped down, There's a Sentry Ward off to block the Ancient stacks here. Very important against an offlane Tide. And as well as a Hill Ward here for LGD. So they did spot this Fenrir movement towards the Rune, but I don't think that they actually spotted the Sentry Ward getting placed down. And even if they did, they don't know exactly where it is. Meanwhile, top. Ice with a haste turn. Up to his usual tricks, being annoying. But for the haste, there's no killing him. They needed like a perfect block of shards into a surround, and even then probably would have killed him off. Looks like we'll be unpausing momentarily. So it's going to be a Viper Tusk versus a Timber Saw. And honestly, pretty difficult lane to kill Tusk, or Timber, sorry, as he's toying with his tangos Ice in classic Ice fashion. For those who aren't from... Oh, hold that thought. Already the smoke. They're wrapping around on Yao, and they want to get this one started off right away. He's done a nice job of pulling the creeps up the hill. Now he walks down into the river, and they'll make their move momentarily. But he sits real far back here. They're almost about to reveal the smoke. If he walks up past this region, he's definitely dead. They're still going to dive him with a concussive shot. Super coming in. He'll blast him as well. Burrow Strike to follow this one. They've got to get in real close for this. But with 2 more auto attacks, they'll get the kill. He couldn't laser in time, so no chance at a return kill. And in the end, Vici Gaming, the masters, at this point I think it's safe to just call them the absolute masters of early roaming, are at it again. First blood for them, and an easy one. And it's a Sand King. Like, you generally look at this pick and say he can roam early, but you're more likely to see him stacking the jungle. But with the Scarith Mage of FY, that is not the case. And not only are they going to get the first blood, but they're going to position FY in this mid lane just to slow down Yao and limit his farm as much as possible. Well, meanwhile, in the offlane, I was going to mention, very difficult to kill a Timber Saw in this lane because you don't have proper disables outside of Malefice. That's a good way to cancel Timber Chain, but they'll have to chase him for a while. They won't really be able to prevent Ice from Timber Chaining out. As you can see, already leveling it up a single point. We'll probably see him take the 2 points of reactive armor, max the chain, and then go back for the Chakram. And the Whirling Death and the Chakram, I should say. It's normally your offlane build on a Timber when you're up against a fairly aggressive lineup in the mid game. Just a very elusive build, but yeah, we'll see. Ice for now. The 2 points in chain is mentioned, and yeah, likely to just be playing this one defensively, but getting a lot out of this offlane. He's already 5-1. You compare that to Angelai's Tide, he's done well, but that's with no supports to zone him out, and well, I guess to be fair, neither team's really focused on zoning. MMY's roaming through the woods right now. The Enigma's off in his own little world jungling. Fenrir is doing some pulls. They have started already stacking the big camp. I believe FY was handling that, and Fenrir will go to farm it later on. So Vici Gaming understanding the importance of getting an early blink. This is their initiator. Fenrir is their team fight. They have some damage that can come from Ice. They have a mech that can be built on the Pugna or the Razor, but that's it. Now Decrepify mid. The blast follows up, but it doesn't hit while the Decrepify's going. So they don't get the bonus damage from that they needed, and as a result, can't quite find the kill. Meanwhile, bottom, on Ninja, they're stealing his damage quickly. He anchor smashes, but still damage stolen. Razor's fighting through this. He's got a plasma field as well, and Ninja's going down for this. He's can salve, but it wouldn't save him. He won't even bother. These supports for Vici Gaming, Fenrir and FY, it just feels like so often they just win games for their team in the laning stage. Not to say they've won this one, but hey, if you're gonna win a Dota game, this is a much higher percentage way to go about it. Take those early kills, set up the first blood, stack the camps. It's just the perfect mixture of aggression and farming from them. And whereas you look at LGD, and it's pretty much just been farming. Very passive play from their supports. Tuskar and Enigma have great ganky potential a bit later on. If you just snowball, Malefice, snowball, follow up with the Ice Shards. It's a pretty potent killing combo. The one thing I will be curious to see is the skill build of MMY, though. When I cast with PPD, I guess it was a week or two ago, he mentioned that he thinks that maxing the Sigil is by far the strongest build because it goes through magic immunity. It's an incredible area of effectability. The shards give you decent damage scaling, but not amazing. And Sigil's basically, it turns Tuskar into a great teamfight hero. And with the changes to it where it takes a set amount of auto attacks to bring down, it's very, very durable. And it takes a lot longer than it used to kill it off, even later on in the game. So a much more potent ability than it once was is the rotation comes in from FY. He'll once again ward off these Ancients, still no stacks. Meanwhile, you see Fenrir farming up his medium camp. They keep making sure this Tide Hunter is kept down. While Ice is just roaming through the trees. He's still getting his full levels in the offlane. Inchai a little bit behind, not overwhelmingly so by any means, but begins to fall a bit back. But this is coming at the trade of the Enigma, and it's a fast Enigma from Faith. He's hit level 6 already. We're only 4.5 minutes in. And we'll be looking at that level 7 to 5 minutes. Pretty much ideal jungle start for an Enigma kind of start. Or kind of beginning, I should say. Faith and MOI looking to make their move. It's aggressive positioning from Super. But FY will spot this one out for him and pings the retreat. They're still going in on Super. Maybe he didn't see it. Ice Shard's catching him out. He now drops the blast, but he's slowed down by the Sigil. Not enough, unfortunately. It's not particularly highly leveled, and Super drops low. Very low, down to about 50 HP, but he's able to beat his retreat. Meanwhile, Yao nearly got killed off by the ward. And they're still going in for this. Tidehunter's joined the mid lane. He wants to dive onto FY. The trade may be there, though. Super with a blast in 2 seconds. No, the defensive snowball going back in. The laser to secure the kill. A 2-hero turnaround. And most importantly, they get the Pugna kill. They underestimated the snowball. They didn't expect the Tidehunter rotation. And instantly a smoke from LGD. Because they know they have Ravage. And they also know Vici Gaming won't be expecting this. Faith in July. Straight towards the top lane they'll go. And they're looking for this sucker. Ice, ice, ice. Yeah, he hasn't taken any points of Whirling Death yet. Just the defensive build from him, and he'll need it. But a Malefice is going to prevent this Timber Chain. Now the follow-up from the Black Hole, and that's the end of the Timber Saw. No way he gets out of this one. Great retaliation from LGD. Inactive supports for the first 3 minutes, but they make up for it thanks to a little bit of over-aggression from Vici Gaming and some great early rotations of their own. And good news for Vici, that early Enigma kill does not translate into a tower push, though. Faith just back to the jungle. He's picked up his boots. The hero that's doing the pushing is with the Pugna. Super. Very aggressive on this mid lane. And now they bring in Fenrir. Double damage up. Spotted by a Dire Observer Ward. Still looking to move forward as MMY waits defensively. He's got 1 point in all abilities, and for Tuskar, it's definitely worth taking at least 1 in all of them. But I am curious to see which MMY maxes first. Sigil now thrown out as Fenrir has to worry about the snowball that's going to follow him right through the sandstorm. He burrow strikes out but can't make his escape. Ice 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 arrives though, and he jumps deep on MMY. With the follow-up from Super, they will get the kill. Bringing down the Tuskars in exchange, and also getting the last on the tower. That one going to Super. So now, already early on in this game, Vici Gaming, they get a big gold lead here. 1,000 gold. They are up against the Dire Enigma, and they do have to be worried about Roshan attempts, but with the Pugna pick, there's always going to be the pushing potential to come your way, even before the Enigma's fully ready to commit to it. Looks like we might have a Ghost in bottom lane. Here comes FY on the wraparound. There's no Ravage yet. Black Hole. Still cooling down for quite some time. Nearly 2 minutes on Faith. And I'm wondering if we're going to see the mech built by the Viper. No, it's going to be Faith who builds it. So that frees up your Viper of Sylar to go straight for something like an Aghanim Scepter. But they're jumping in mid lane potentially. Ice 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 and Super unable to get it in close on this Tinker. And meanwhile, the Ancient's still warded. I mean, I mentioned the Tide can farm these. There is also a Tinker in this game who could be looking to farm them. And the concern for Yao's Tinker is, well, he doesn't get that much space this game. Enigma's been using the jungle. The Tide probably wants the Ancients. So that leaves Yao forced to just farm the double stack here for the Dire side. Not really ideal, but he'll look to make a triple. He'll have 1 regular big camp of stacks to work with, and he's rushed his Boots of Travel. He's not going for the early Soul Rain into Boots of Travel. He's just going bottle into Boots of Travel. So this will save him about 900 gold. A little bit less than that on the path to the BOTs. So he's nearly got them. It looked like it could be a delayed BOTs given that, as his CS is only 5 CS a minute. Still good, but with the death to his name, not amazing. But yeah, this changes things. Obviously, you still go back for the Soul Rain, but just getting BOTs, the main thing is you can show up in lanes, always be there ready to depush. So you look at Vici Gaming, Pugna and Razor, they want to be 5-manning towers fairly early on. At least 3 4-man pushes. And this early BOTs will ensure Tinker is ready at the point of defense to turn those engagements. The Ancient stack still being attempted. It's been freshly warded. This time they'll deploy an Observer Ward. It's a fairly big investment for Vici Gaming, and it's also in the standard position. So LGD actually were expecting an Observer Ward near the lane, but that's not the case. So they whiff on their sentry. Meanwhile, it's a bit of a group up here. 2 heroes near the bottom lane. The main thing that Vici are waiting for is the Blink Dagger of Fenrir. He's about to get it now, as the Raiding Curt is spotted by this Dire Observer Ward moving down bottom. Brings in the point booster of the Razor, and I think with this, you've got Blink on Sand King. Not yet seen. No lane ward to spot his rotation there. They'll go for the D ward. They will get it. And that's where I actually really like that ward we saw in the previous game I think it was by Live versus Invictus Gaming. Yeah, Invictus were on the Dire. So basically, oh, hold that thought. Bit of a push in mid. Yeah, but quickly, the standard D-ward spot is right here, and they had a ward right here, which I believe still blocks the Ancients, but it's out of range of the normal D-ward position. And it was a pretty clever place to put one. I'm expecting we'll see more teams and trying to take a look at that, and most likely copy it moving forward. And, you know, then it'll be the evolving ward metagame from there. But that's the first time I've seen that particular observer to block that camp. Probably not the first time it's been done, but it's not hugely common in professional play. Fighting this one without Ice though. Viper of Sylar still chipping away at this top tower, but Viper just doesn't push the same way Pugna does as they get prepared to snowball. Jumping in deep onto FY. This will catch out the Sand King, but who's caught whom? He goes in with the 3-hero burrow, and the turn is there. The Nether Ward doing massive damage, and Black's gonna bring down Faith. Even through this black hole, it looks like his ultimate will get the kill. Super's Nether Ward, MVP of that fight for sure. The burrow strike was fantastic. That was without an epicenter, guys. Your eyes deceive you if you thought there was one there. That was purely Pugna Blast, burrow strike damage, plasma field follow-up, and a bit of Nether Ward action. And this is without Ice. They did that 4v5. What an amazing engagement from Super. The mech also making its mark, leaving its mark there in that fight, and Vici Gaming, they take a big advantage. Enigma was close to his mech, but just didn't have it yet. I say close, he's still like 600 gold off, but probably was like 400, 500 before he died, so would have had it by that 13-minute mark most likely, and unfortunately it's delayed. And now Vici Gaming, they take a substantial lead here, but it's a substantial lead they need to have. It's 11 minutes in, and they're up 7.5k gold, 4k experience. They're still up against Tinker, and they don't have the best lineup to gank him. Maybe later on, Ice is decent. Timbersaw is good at clearing trees, and I wonder if that's maybe the thinking for Vici is, hey, Timber is not, it's not a Tinker counter, but it's a hero that can at least find him pretty consistently. Very mobile, if you get the blink especially, and even just with Timber Chain, and on top of that, you have a lot of ways to clear trees and gain vision of him when Tinker's ratting it up in the sidelines of the map. So that could be at least one of the small thoughts Vici Gaming had with this Timbersaw pick. But yeah, Ice is starting to get a bit bigger now. He's picked up his Perseverance. Won't go for the early point booster, so opts for the more farming-oriented build, as with this, you basically can spam all your spells constantly. But Sylar's making his way top. He wants to contest into Vici Gaming, and they'll get some vision of the Pugna here. MMY doesn't have the Polar Punch yet. Something they'll need to have any shot at bringing Super down, and speak as Super. Perfect position on this Nether Ward. Zaps Faith immediately. This is going to make it very difficult for LGD to defend. Tinker, he'll march once. They'll use this Frozen Sigil to slice. Try and slow down the push. But more heroes are streaming in. Fenrir's going to join the top lane. He's got his urn picked up now. And we're looking at Vici Gaming just completely forcing the issue. They'll have to wait for the Nether Ward to cool down, but that's up in 10 seconds. Only hero missing is going to be the Skywrath. He may look to cancel, or at least punish a hero who tries to TP in, getting off a Mystic Flare. They now see the Tinker rotate in, still not knowing that everybody is here from LGD. And LGD do have Ravage. Injuly's about to catch up Super. Can he be quick on the 4-step? No, he gets turned around. He gets blocked on the path of retreat. But the 2-hero burrows there from Fenrir to turn this. The Ice Shard's not enough to finish off the Pugna. Not enough to scare him out of this fight. While Sylar looks for a way in on the backside. FY preparing with the Mystic Flare, but Sylar jukes it. He turns. Ice is ready to support this one, though. And they life drain. They burrow Sylar. They overwhelm their former teammate, and they crush him. Vici Gaming, ruthless in the onslaught. Now get 3 kills. They'll look for another tower top. And this team is really firing on all cylinders today. It's just big win after big win for them, it seems. Up by 8k gold. Looking more like 10k when that graph updates. 5k experience. The core items just pounding out for them. Super now could work towards a BKB. Maybe just go straight into an Aghanim Scepter. Even could build a pipe, though I think you want some HP on Pugna. Otherwise, it's too much risk that you end up getting burst down. So maybe it's Black who even looks to build that next. Either way, point is, big items. Big items. And you can just see LGD are just not really strong enough to take these fights. The Nether Ward is too good against Tinker. It does too much to the Enigma when he tries to walk in close, and it's not often you say the lineup with Tinker are the ones who can't engage. Normally they spam March, and then you can't engage into them, but it actually feels like it's the reverse in this particular game. Point booster now picked up by Ice Ice Ice, getting closer and closer to his Bloodstone. Just needs the Vitality booster. So we're looking at roughly like a 17-minute Bloodstone, I would say. Maybe a little bit less than that. That's an extremely good timing for an offlane Timber. And a lot of it's this tower gold. He's 2-1-1. His CS is solid at 57, but not amazing. Speaking of which, he's diving on Injuly bottom lane. He needs the Timber Chain out of this one quickly. Rockets will follow this up, but there's no Ravage to hold Ice 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 in place. Meanwhile, top, the Burrow in on Faith. Now the Snowball to try and turn this one. They'll go right back in on Fenrir Sandcade, who goes into Sandstorm, and then the Mystic Flare comes out, and Faith is forced to retreat on Mech, but he gets offensively earned and chased down. Burrow will end his life. They couldn't even kill the support Sandcade. Ice Shards searching. We'll find Fenrir, but they'll simply Sandstorm and retreat out, and they'll continue blasting this tower. They're doing this once again without Ice Ice Ice, who wants in July, but barely in July will escape bottom. Now the two-hero Burrow, the follow-ups there from Fenrir's teammates. Black jumps in, gets the Plasma Field on Sylar, and now the chase is on. They'll four-step super forward, he'll blast himself in, and he takes Sylar back once again, sends him back into the well. Vici Gaming just in full control of this game. There's really no other way to put it. LGD have great late game. Certainly better late game than Vici Gaming. But they don't have nearly enough farm. They don't have the firepower to take these early game fights. And what makes it worse is they keep on trying to force them. They keep on trying to defend towers. It seems there's no other option for them. They don't split push particularly quickly, although they do have the Enigma, but they're just not strong enough to fight right now. And the more they try to force it, the more they're going to pay for it. The only way they win the fight is with a perfect Ravage Black Hole combination. That's the only way LGD take an engagement. And those are hard to come by when your Enigma just has to walk in, no blink in sight, no BKB. When your Tide doesn't even have his own blink yet. Injuly's still trying to farm that up. Yeah, to be fair to LGD, it's very tough to take these fights, but I think that's where you don't try to take them. At the same time, Vici Gaming are just moving in for bigger objectives now. They've got Fenrir in position. We may finally see our first Epi, and it's a level 2 Epi. This could be real bad for LGD. March may cancel this blink. No, it's just a little bit too far north. Fenrir's got the position, while Tuskar lurks on the high ground. Dire Observer Ward up there. Fenrir's still waiting for his moment to jump in. This could be big for Fenrir. Epi coming. That's going to be on 2. Decently placed. Not perfect, though. It'll bring down the Enigma immediately. Now in July caught out. He ravaged, but couldn't follow it up too effectively. And now the Timber of Ice 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 chains up to the high ground. He's ticking down slowly to this poison, but I think we'll barely survive through this. And now they can look to turn it. They'll finish off the Sigil, as FY quickly calls for a pause. And they'll give LGD a chance to collect themselves, but Vici take an absolutely one-sided engagement once again. Now leading 16-4. The masters of early aggression from the International 4 continue to be masters of it now. And we'll have it on pause. LGD. You can't even really point to any one decision and say that was like a terrible misplay. It's honestly just the strategy of LGD is so damn strong. Super Black and Ice 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 are brought low by the Tinker. They'll be forced off the tower a bit, but another blast will secure this one. And with Yao having only a Blink Dagger, it's very difficult for him to get in close. Not able to finish off Ice Ice Ice. But his Bloodstone just in time. Fenrir now burrowing in. We'll need the Sandstorm to retreat out. No, maybe not. Just an Urn will keep him in fighting shape. They'll mech up, and suddenly everyone who is low is getting back to full health. This is the power of the early Urn. Something that Vici Gaming fully understand. Well, Black's going to need an Urn charge. He's down to 400 health. He's getting to the danger zone. Mid lane. Jump in on the Tide Hunter. Burrow will start this one out. And Fenrir's just not afraid. Normally it's his support Sanky jumps into 4. He dies. But he's force-stepped over the tree line. He'll hide in the trees and wait for his blink to cool down. And LGD don't seem like they're going to be able to chase him down. They're looking for someone. And Super they want to go on. Oh, Burrow missed. Oh, that could be bad. But then the Mystic Flare will zone LGD off this fight, keeping them out a bit, while the rest of the team continues to stagger their backwards progress. Just want to disengage. Polar Punch on Fenrir. Thrown up in the air, but this time he gets the 2-hero Burrow. And although it's a pretty good Enigma ultimate, not enough follow-up on that one. The Black Hole simply ineffective. Fenrir will fall, though, and Vici Gaming begin to fight in the March, but Ice 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 dives deep. He gets aggressive here. He wants in July. He will get him. He denies himself with the Bloodstone at the final hour. Big plays from Ice Ice Ice. They'll probably lose Sylar. Nope. Sticking up. He'll barely live through this aggression. And in the end, they only lose 3. It could have been a lot worse. It was 2 down for Vici Gaming. An instant respawn for Ice Ice Ice. That's how early his Bloodstone was, and that's how far ahead they were. Yeah, I think he's sitting on 10 charges there. So, Ice. Already was up to a decent chunk, but he'll drop down a peg. And now we're going to see the next tool in the Vici Gaming arsenal come out. Oh, Courier? I think you can Polar Punch, yeah? Or Wall... I keep on calling it Polar Punch. Wall or Sponge. Won't get in range for it, though. Didn't really expect it to be there, I guess, and had just placed this Observer Ward as the Courier retreated. So Vici Gaming get closer and closer, 20 minutes in. So taking this game and just continuing their march through Chinese Dota as of late. LGD will try to hold the line here, but Ice is scouting. He can clear out these trees. There's no safety for Yao. Dove out by Ice. He might be chased too far, though, as Faith looks to turn this one. Plasma Field, not enough, as Yao is mech'd up. Kept alive for a time. This time, Ice can't deny himself. Now the Polar Punch comes out. 2-hero burrow from Fenrir. Good damage done to LGD, driving them off the engagement, forcing them to retreat, but they stall now with the march. And the question is if Vici Gaming can push in again. They have Epi ready. They just need to wait for this march to end. Get the Sand King in a good position for that initiation. Ravage ready. Black Hole not ready. And Fenrir still lurks. Dire Vision is lacking on him. But they pretty much know where he is. This is where your Sand King's going to be positioned. Radiant Ward now dropped down, so they get good vision behind this tower. And they're thinking it's time to go. But Fenrir is retreating back out. He wants them to go on black. It seems like Vici Gaming say, we'll bait our Razor here. Although now, right as I mentioned that, they just retreat entirely. Meanwhile, up on the top lane, Ice. It's been 2 deaths for him. Oh, thought they were gonna make a jump in there, but Fenrir will retreat onto the trees, blinks out, and burrow strikes away. Yeah, Ice has had 2 recent deaths. The suicide, yeah, it's not giving anything away to LGD, but it's still a suicide end of the day. You're losing gold, and you're delaying your boots of travel. If that's what he wants to go for, I'm kind of feeling like a Blink Dagger might be the item this game, simply because LGD don't split push that fast, and your goal here as Vici should be to end the game in the next 10 to 15 minutes. As a team, as a draft, and given the matchup as well. So Blink Dagger could be his choice, but yeah, I think it'll be one of those 2k gold items. Beyond that, you're into Shiva's Guard territory, maybe a Hex for the Tinker, but that kind of plays into LGD style of wanting this to go late. As they burrow in on Faith, they'll just annihilate him instantly! Great combination gaming there coming out from Vici Gaming. They'll bring down the first. Now Ice retreating out to the north side while the march continues to stack up. It's an epi from Fenrir. A good one as well. He secures 2 more for his team. It's 4 dead. It might be a wipe. Barely blinking out to safety as Yao. But the damage is done. Vici Gaming once again crushing through the opposition. They'll take the bottom tier 3 tower, or tier 2 tower. Now only the tier 3s left standing. They get real close to taking this game, and they may need to back off and heal. They are looking a little bit frail. Ice will be earned up. Maybe they just keep this aggression flowing. Burrow in on Yao. They can't lose the Tinker now, but they will. Fenrir catches him out. Probably going to die to the march. 4-staffed out. Defensively decrepified. This keeps him alive. Great play by Super. Oh, what a great teamwork there in the final moments of what could have been his life. Then they heal him up, and everyone at Vici Gaming's kept alive. It's just been perfect for them. Like, they're basically pitching a shutout at this point. The only miscue I can even point to is the Sand King missing that 1 burrow strike mid. That's it. Otherwise, they're pretty much flawless. I'm starting to feel like a lot of the other Chinese teams might just be hoping that there's a new patch, because Vici Gaming's too damn good at this patch. The old roster was pretty damn good at it. The new roster seems even better. Sylar now caught out by a Mystic Flare, and the Viper will be kept alive by Snowball. This may allow him to live. No, he's going in. Oh, he's got to go in after the Snowball. Now Sylar tries to retreat out. No chance, and Ellie makes it out. They'll lose 2. They basically signed his death warrant with that Snowball forward. Kept him alive for a time, but then had to engage in, and, well, GG. GG. Vici Gaming take it in style. They take it easily. They take it 28-7. And with this win, they will improve their record. Let's see, how are they doing through their first 3 days of play? Take a quick look at our brackets here. Yeah, this puts Vici Gaming at 2-1. It knocks LGD down to 1-2. So Vici did lose one of their group stage matches earlier on in Starladder. I think that might have been their first game as a team. Oh no, that's not right. WC was their first tournament as a team, where they were kind of mediocre. But they've since found their stride, And the team that lost that game earlier in the group stage may not be losing too many more at the rate they're going. Vici Gaming continue to look strong here, guys. You're watching Starladder Season 10, brought to you by Beyond the Summit. I was LD, or I am still LD. Of course, this was a Beyond the Summit broadcast. You can follow us on Twitter at Beyond the Summit. For all VODs of today's coverage and all coverage in general, go to youtube.com/Beyond the Summit TV. And feel free to follow me if you'd like at lgd.cdec. Click the follow link on the Twitch channel if you'd like to see our future broadcasts. But don't worry, we've got more Dota coming your way. Starladder Southeast Asia is underway. Zyori and Blaze bringing you that action. Southeast Asia still plenty of games to go, and we'll be right back for game number 3. I say right back, it'll be a bit of a break. lgd.cdec versus Newbie coming your way in 22 minutes and change, I believe. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back.